I'm Yasuo with The Gamer, and here are some beginner tips before starting Fire Emblem Engage. This installment in the Fire Emblem franchise brings new mechanics like the emblem rings and push-ups, and updates classic ones like the weapon triangle. Being able to save mid-battle and keeping Milla's time wheel remain, thank god, because you'll need all the help you can get. Weapons, for example, aren't just their damage. Compared to Awakening or Echoes, it's hard to classify which weapons are the best. While some weapons don't hit as hard, they can provide a huge boost to your accuracy and evasion. Javelins and hand axes sacrifice speed to make up for the fact they can attack from two spaces. That's why it's best to bring more than one weapon, maybe even three. Certain weapons like Rider's Bane and Armor Slayer can turn the tide on a bad matchup. Now, when the protagonist dies or you get a game over, you get three options: the typical return to title screen or restart from the beginning of the chapter, but also the option to restart the battle with all of the XP you've gained. This is best if you want to change equipment or do something the time crystal won't help with, but also give a little bit of something for this failed attempt. This is a nice way of grinding, especially early game, but it still gives you the option to remain tough if you don't want any handicaps. There are a lot of skills in this game. Personal skills, engage skills, class skills. Make sure you read both yours and the enemy's to know where to position units. For example, Celine will boost the healing potency of items when other units use items near her, and Alfred gets a slight increase in strength after waiting and not attacking anyone on his turn. But most importantly, the first four units, Alir, Vander, Clan, and Fram, all have skills that work very well with each other. Fram boosts evasion for her and Alir, and Clan does the same for accuracy. Vander boosts critical chance, and Alir increases damage inflicted and decreases damage taken for themselves and their adjacent allies. If you can find a way to keep these four nearby in the early game, you can make certain battles less stressful. It's always better together. It's called hard mode for a reason. If one of your units is vulnerable, you bet enemies will capitalize on that. While that means you can use this to peel guards away from bosses and leave ranged units vulnerable, their death is on you, unless you're on casual mode. But if you're playing on permadeath, you need to be extra cautious. Toggle the danger zone and check enemy ranges often, and use any terrain benefits you can. Maps are going to have items, weapons, staves, or just good old-fashioned money. But if you defeat all of the enemies on the map before getting them, you might miss out on valuable upgrades. You can either focus on getting the items first, which can affect your strategy, not to mention leave you vulnerable to reinforcements. Or you can leave a straggler, like surrounding a single enemy archer from all sides while everyone else gets the items. Then, once you get all the goodies, put the enemy out of their misery and move on. Like Milla's turn wheel in Echoes, the time crystal does not change the RNG. For example, you wonder how Alir manages to miss an 80% hit chance, so you rewind to try again. Then they miss again and again. When you do the same order of actions after rewinding, you always get the same result. However, this doesn't mean Alir will never hit that sword swing. If you rewind a bit farther, reorder the actions you do, the game will give you a fresh roll of the dice. This also only uses one charge of the crystal, so don't be afraid to turn back the time to beat fate. Don't forget about Tonics. Unlocked after chapter 3, they give you a temporary boost to one stat that lasts for one battle. You can use these before the start of a chapter, but most importantly, they are cheap. So if Alir's recent level ups haven't been to your liking, don't hesitate to fork over a bit of gold to give them an edge in battle. If you have no more time crystal charges and can't afford to make any more mistakes, run away, flee, do whatever to give yourself some breathing room. Breathing room to heal, have other troops catch up to help, or even spread enemies thin. Unless you're fighting a horde of mounted units, but in that case, remember that sacrificing Alir is an option. It may be cowardly, but at least you're still alive and you can still make decisions. Engage can definitely catch you off guard with that one enemy you forgot about, or new mechanics you forgot to consider. But doesn't every Fire Emblem do that? For more Engage guides and tips, check out thegamer.com. Thanks for watching.